8 things you should quietly eliminate from your life. 8 things you should quietly eliminate from your life. There comes a point in life when you realize peace isn't something you find, it's something you create. And the way you create it is by quietly removing what no longer serves your growth. You don't have to make an announcement. You don't have to prove a point. Just start subtracting what weighs your spirit down. The first thing to let go of is the need to explain yourself to everyone. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your energy, choosing yourself, or changing directions. Those who understand won't question, and those who question will never truly understand. Stand firm in your silence, because peace doesn't require permission. The second thing to release is the habit of overgiving where it's never appreciated. You can be kind without draining yourself dry. Stop pouring into people who only show up when they're thirsty. Generosity should be mutual, not one-sided. Your energy, time, and love are sacred. Treat them like that. The third thing to eliminate is the desperate need to be liked by everyone. That desire is an invisible cage that steals your authenticity. You are not meant to fit into every space, please every person, or be understood by every mind. The moment you stop performing for approval, you reclaim your power. Not everyone will like the real you, but that's how you'll know who truly does. Fourth, let go of the weight of unforgiveness. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means you refuse to let it keep hurting you. It's choosing freedom over bitterness, peace over pain. When you forgive, you release yourself from the emotional debt of others. And fifth, release the fear of starting over. Every ending is disguised as a new beginning. You are not starting from scratch, you are starting from experience. Sometimes God closes a door because you were meant to build your own house. So stop fearing change. It's the only thing that leads to growth. Sixth, remove the voices of comparison. Stop measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel. You don't bloom at the same pace as others, and that's okay. Your timeline is yours, sacred, unique, and perfectly unfolding. Comparison steals joy, while gratitude restores it. The seventh thing to let go of is chaos disguised as connection. Some people only love you when you're small enough to control or broken enough to need them. Pay attention. True connection uplifts you. It doesn't drain you. You don't have to hold on to people who no longer align with your peace. Detachment is an act of strength, not coldness. And finally, release the habit of doubting your own worth. Stop questioning whether you are enough. You are not behind, not too late, not unworthy. You are in the exact season you're meant to be in, and every struggle is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, softer. The moment you decide to see yourself with love instead of criticism, everything begins to shift. Because healing starts the moment you stop apologizing for being who you are. So quietly, without noise or announcement. Eliminate what no longer reflects your highest self. You don't need revenge, validation, or closure. You just need peace, and the courage to protect it. When you finally remove what drains your soul, you make space for what nourishes it. And that's when life begins to align. Not because everything is perfect, but because you finally are. There comes a moment in every person's journey where silence becomes more powerful than words. It's the moment you realize that peace isn't found in what you gain, but in what you're willing to let go of. The art of living peacefully isn't about adding more. It's about subtracting what no longer nourishes your growth. The people, the habits, the fears, the chaos, they all build layers that hide your true self. When you begin to peel those layers back, when you quietly eliminate what doesn't align with your inner calm, that's when your soul starts to breathe again. Growth often begins in solitude, and peace begins when you stop clinging to things that keep you restless. The first thing to quietly remove from your life is the need to explain yourself to everyone. You don't need to justify your healing, your silence, or your distance. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing peace over drama. The truth is, people who truly see you won't demand a reason for your boundaries. They'll understand your silence as protection, not rejection. But those who need to question every move you make are often the ones who benefited most from your lack of boundaries. So stop defending your peace to those who thrive on your chaos. Walk quietly, choose softly, and let your peace speak louder than your words. The second thing to release is the tendency to give where it's not valued. Giving is beautiful, until it becomes self-betrayal. You can't keep pouring from a cup that's always empty. Sometimes love means stepping back. Sometimes kindness means saying no. You are not selfish for wanting balance. You are not unkind for protecting your energy. If someone only appreciates you when you're useful, they never valued you. They used you. Stop showing up where your presence isn't cherished. Energy is currency. Spend it where it multiplies, not where it's drained. Third, eliminate the desire to be liked by everyone. The truth is, no matter how kind, how understanding, or how patient you are, some people will still misunderstand you. And that's okay. The freedom you've been craving is waiting on the other side of indifference. The kind that says, I'm at peace, even if you don't approve. When you stop performing for love, you start attracting people who love your truth. Being universally liked is overrated. Being authentically at peace is priceless. Fourth, release the burden of unforgiveness. Holding on to resentment doesn't punish the one who hurt you. It poisons you. Forgiveness isn't saying what they did was okay. It's saying you refuse to let it live rent free in your heart any longer. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from emotional captivity. You deserve peace more than you deserve to be right. Carrying bitterness only weighs down your soul. Setting it free lets your light return. Next, eliminate the fear of starting over. Change is not your enemy. The endings you resist are often the beginnings you prayed for. Every closed door redirects you to something better suited for your growth. Don't fear the unknown. Fear staying where you no longer belong. Every time you start again, you're not starting from nothing. You're starting from experience. Life will always demand courage, and starting over is one of the bravest acts of self-respect you'll ever perform. Sixth, you must remove comparison from your mindset. It's easy to lose sight of your path when you're staring at someone else's. You are not behind. You are on your own timeline. Comparison is the thief of joy because it tricks you into believing your story should look like someone else's. But your journey is unique, sacred, and precisely unfolding as it should. The flowers don't compete to bloom. They just open when it's their time. So must you. Seventh, eliminate toxic attachments disguised as connections. Some people are only comfortable with you when you're smaller, quieter, or easier to control. Learn to see who genuinely supports your peace and who feeds on your chaos. You don't have to announce your departure. Just quietly step back, reclaim your energy, and stop watering relationships that grow only weeds. Detachment isn't coldness, it's wisdom. You are allowed to walk away without explanation from anything that costs your peace. Lastly, eliminate self-doubt, the quiet voice that whispers, "You're not enough." You are not defined by your mistakes, your past, or your insecurities. You are defined by how you rise after falling, how you heal after breaking, how you keep showing up even when life feels heavy. The mind can be your greatest enemy or your greatest ally. Train it to be your supporter. Every time you question your worth, remind yourself of how far you've come, not how far you still have to go. You've already survived what once felt impossible, and that alone proves your strength. So quietly, gracefully, and without noise, begin eliminating. Remove what drains, what distracts, what deceives. You don't need validation, revenge, or recognition, just peace. Because peace isn't found in control, it's found in release. The real glow up happens when you stop chasing approval and start choosing alignment. Let your life become lighter with every boundary you honor, every habit you shed, and every truth you embrace. You'll realize that healing doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "I'm done." And when you finally eliminate what's not meant for you, you won't feel emptiness. You'll feel space. Space for joy, for clarity, for the version of you that's been waiting to breathe freely again. Peace isn't something you find in the world, it's something you protect within. So, begin quietly. Not everyone needs to understand your transformation. Because real change doesn't ask for attention, it simply speaks through presence. At some point in life, you stop searching for happiness in noise and start looking for peace in silence. You realize that the things you once chased, approval, validation, comfort, belonging, often came at the cost of your peace. And that's the moment you begin to understand the art of letting go. True peace doesn't come from having more, it comes from releasing what no longer fits the person you're becoming. It's not a loud process, it's quiet. It happens when you start cutting energetic cords that keep you tied to pain, people, and patterns that no longer serve your growth. The first thing you must quietly let go of is the habit of seeking validation. Every time you adjust who you are to be accepted by others, you lose a piece of your authenticity. You don't need the world's approval to feel enough. You only need your own. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are here to live it. Stop apologizing for your standards, your boundaries, your silence, or your self-respect. Those who are meant to walk beside you will never make you shrink to fit their comfort. The most freeing moment of your life is when you stop trying to prove your value and start embodying it. The second thing to eliminate is the energy of overthinking. You cannot heal by replaying what hurt you. You cannot find peace by analyzing chaos. Some things won't make sense, and that's okay. The mind loves control, but peace requires surrender. Stop asking why it happened the way it did, and start trusting that it was meant to guide you closer to yourself. The peace you're searching for begins when you stop arguing with your past. Third, you must let go of relationships that exist only out of habit, not love. Sometimes we hold on to people not because they make us happy, but because we fear being alone. But loneliness is not being without someone. It's being with someone who makes you feel unseen. You deserve connections that feel like home, not ones that drain you. You don't have to hate anyone to walk away. You can love them and still know it's time to go. Love isn't meant to break you. It's meant to grow you. Fourth, release the weight of comparison. The world will always make you believe you're behind. But you are not late. You are in divine timing. Everyone's story unfolds differently. You can't bloom like someone else's flower when your season hasn't arrived yet. Comparison steals the joy from your journey and replaces it with doubt. Instead, look inward. Water your own soil. The moment you stop comparing, you start appreciating how far you've come. You start realizing your life is not supposed to look like theirs. It's supposed to look like yours. The fifth thing to let go of is emotional clutter, the old memories, grudges, and what-ifs that live rent-free in your mind. You can't move forward if your heart is still living in yesterday. Healing doesn't mean erasing the past. It means learning to live fully despite it. Some chapters will never get closure. You simply outgrow them. Don't reopen old wounds just to see if they've healed. Let peace replace pain, and let forgiveness replace resentment. You owe it to yourself to stop carrying stories that no longer empower you. Next, remove the addiction to being busy. Many of us fill our schedules just to avoid sitting with ourselves. But stillness is not laziness, it's where clarity lives. You don't have to chase productivity to prove your worth. Rest is not weakness, it's repair. Sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful thing you can do, because in stillness, you hear the voice of your soul. It's in silence that your next chapter begins to whisper its name. Seventh, let go of the fear of being misunderstood. Not everyone will get you, and that's not your burden to carry. The right people will feel your energy before you ever explain yourself. Stop shrinking your truth to make it digestible for others. You are not meant to be universally understood. You are meant to be deeply felt by the right few. The beauty of authenticity is that it naturally filters out who doesn't belong in your life. And lastly, let go of the version of yourself that survives instead of lives. You've spent so long in survival mode that peace might feel uncomfortable at first. But that's growth. You are not your trauma. You are not your mistakes. You are not what they did to you. You are what you choose to become despite it all. Stop romanticizing pain and start celebrating healing. You don't need to keep proving your strength through struggle. Your softness is also power. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring about yourself too. It's not about erasing people or memories. It's about accepting what was and allowing what is. You don't have to announce what you're releasing. Real healing happens quietly. It's in the unfollowing, the unanswered calls, the boundaries, the long walks, and the deep breaths that say, I choose peace. Because at the end of the day, peace is not something you find. It's something you protect. When you stop chasing what drains you, you begin attracting what aligns with you. And that's the essence of real freedom. Not control, not revenge, not closure, but peace. The kind that doesn't need to be understood, only felt. The kind that lives in quiet hearts that have learned the sacred art of letting go. There's a moment in every soul's journey where silence becomes the language of strength. It's the point where you stop arguing with life and begin listening to what it's trying to teach you. Growth doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. In the stillness after heartbreak, in the calm after chaos, in the quiet decision to walk away. Transformation doesn't happen when you add more to your life. It begins when you start releasing what doesn't belong. The art of evolving peacefully is not about becoming someone new, but remembering who you were before the world taught you to forget yourself. The first thing you must release is the habit of holding on to things out of fear. Fear of change, fear of loss, fear of being alone. It keeps you clinging to what's already fading. But holding on doesn't preserve peace, it prolongs pain. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go of what's comfortable, but no longer right for you. The universe will never remove something without preparing you for something better. But it cannot bless hands that refuse to open. You have to trust the falling away, because every loss clears space for alignment. The second thing to quietly eliminate is the need to control outcomes. You can't control how others treat you, how situations unfold, or how the past played out. The more you try to force life, the more resistance you create. Real power is in surrender, not the kind that gives up, but the kind that trusts. Let life move through you instead of against you. The unknown isn't your enemy, it's your next chapter waiting to reveal itself when you're finally still enough to receive it. Third, let go of people who constantly drain your energy. Some connections are meant to be lessons, not lifelong attachments. Pay attention to how you feel after leaving certain people, drained or inspired, peaceful or anxious. Your body knows what your mind refuses to admit. You don't need to argue, explain, or justify your departure. You simply outgrow people who no longer vibrate on the same frequency. And that's not betrayal. That's evolution. The fourth thing to release is guilt for choosing yourself. Many of us were taught that selflessness equals goodness. That to love others, we must sacrifice ourselves. But you can't keep breaking yourself to keep others comfortable. Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. You are not responsible for healing everyone, fixing everything, or staying where your soul feels small. The moment you stop apologizing for prioritizing your peace, you begin to live. Next, eliminate the weight of past versions of yourself. The you from 5 years ago, even last month, no longer exists. Stop mourning versions of you that didn't know better. Stop shaming yourself for who you were when you didn't have the wisdom you have now. Growth is not linear. It's messy, non-linear, and deeply human. You have permission to evolve. You have permission to outgrow habits, places, and people that once felt like home. Honor every version of yourself for surviving what it had to, but don't keep carrying it into your future. The sixth thing to let go of is resentment. You can't move forward while your heart is still stuck in what should have been. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing yourself from the story that keeps you anchored in pain. You don't forgive because they deserve peace. You forgive because you do. Resentment hardens your heart, forgiveness softens it. It doesn't mean you invite people back in. It means you reclaim your emotional freedom. Seventh, release the obsession with external success. The world glorifies hustle, perfection, and constant striving, but peace doesn't live there. True success is waking up with a calm heart, a quiet mind, and a clear purpose. It's no longer chasing validation from the world, but finding contentment in your own alignment. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be for what your soul must learn next. Sometimes doing less leads to living more. And lastly, let go of the story that you are not enough. You've believed for too long that your worth depends on how productive, attractive, or loved you are. But you are enough simply because you exist. You've carried the weight of proving yourself for so long that you've forgotten how to simply be. The most beautiful thing you'll ever do is accept yourself without conditions. You are not your flaws, your past, or your failures. You are the awareness that sees them and still chooses to love yourself through them. Peaceful evolution happens when you stop fighting yourself. When you stop resisting what's leaving and stop fearing what's coming. The person you are becoming will cost you people, comfort, and old habits, but it will reward you with clarity, depth, and strength. The process may feel lonely, but that's only because you're no longer surrounding yourself with noise. Silence can be uncomfortable, but it's in that silence that your soul begins to speak. So let this be your quiet transformation, one that doesn't need validation or attention. Just you, releasing the old with gratitude and walking into the new with faith. Because life has never been about holding on. It's always been about learning when to let go. And once you do, you'll realize that peace isn't something you find at the end of the journey. It's something that meets you the moment you stop resisting your own becoming. When you finally let go, everything shifts. The air feels lighter, your thoughts softer, your energy calmer. You start to see life not as a struggle, but as a rhythm, something meant to flow, not to be forced. And in that flow, you rediscover yourself, not the one molded by the world, but the one your soul always knew you were. That's the beauty of letting go. It doesn't just change your life, it frees it. Healing is not loud. It's not a dramatic moment of realization or a grand gesture of closure. It's a quiet, subtle transformation that begins the moment you decide you no longer want to carry what breaks you. Healing starts when you stop running from yourself and begin listening to the whispers of your soul. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before life taught you to shrink, to fear, to pretend. And the only way to return home to yourself is through release. Through quietly eliminating what no longer belongs in the sacred space of your heart. The first thing you must eliminate is the belief that pain defines you. Pain may shape you, but it does not define your worth or your identity. What you went through was real, but it's not the whole story. You are not your trauma, your heartbreak, or your failure. You are the soul that survived it. You are the lesson that came after the storm. Stop identifying yourself through the lens of suffering. Start seeing yourself as someone who grew through what was meant to destroy you. Healing begins when you stop romanticizing pain and start honoring peace. The second thing to let go of is the constant need to prove your strength. You don't have to keep showing the world how resilient you are. You don't need to keep carrying weight to be seen as powerful. Sometimes real strength is putting the weight down. It's allowing yourself to rest, to feel, to cry, to be human. You are not weak for needing peace. You are wise for choosing it. You've been fighting for so long that peace might feel unfamiliar, but let it stay anyway, because strength without softness becomes survival, not living. Third, eliminate the cycle of self-criticism. Your inner voice should not be your harshest enemy. You have punished yourself enough for things you didn't know back then. You deserve to be spoken to with love, especially by yourself. The healing path demands that you forgive yourself for the times you accepted less, the moments you stayed too long, and the choices that came from pain instead of clarity. You are learning, not failing. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. Because you are someone you love, or at least you should be. The fourth thing to release is toxic expectations of others. People cannot always meet you at the depth you love them. Not everyone can understand your silence, your empathy, your intensity. And that's okay. Expecting people to act the way you would is a silent heartbreak. Let people be who they are, and decide where they belong in your life accordingly. Stop watering relationships that only leave you thirsty. The energy you pour into someone who doesn't value it is energy stolen from your own healing. Let go of needing others to be what they're not. Next, eliminate the attachment to control. Healing doesn't follow your timeline. Some days you'll feel free, others you'll ache again. Some chapters will close quietly, others will tear open old scars. That's okay. Healing isn't linear. It's sacred chaos that slowly becomes harmony. Stop trying to control how and when your peace returns. Allow it to unfold naturally. You're not falling apart. You're falling into alignment. The universe doesn't need your control. It needs your trust. The sixth thing to quietly remove is bitterness disguised as protection. You've built walls to keep the pain out, but those same walls have kept love from entering. You've promised yourself you'll never care that deeply again, never trust, never open. But healing doesn't mean hardening. It means softening without losing wisdom. The heart was never meant to be a fortress. It was meant to be a filter, discerning, not closed. Let the light in again. Not everyone will hurt you the way the last one did. Give life another chance to surprise you with gentleness. 7th, eliminate the noise of comparison and perfection. You don't have to heal perfectly. You don't have to look like you have it all together. Some days you'll fall back into old thoughts, old patterns, old fears. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. Healing is not about becoming flawless, it's about becoming real. Don't compare your progress to someone else's timeline. Your journey is sacred and uniquely yours. What matters is not how fast you heal, but how deeply you choose to understand yourself in the process. And finally, release the fear of who you're becoming. Change feels uncomfortable because you're outgrowing identities that no longer fit. You're shedding skins that once felt like home. That discomfort is not danger. It's evolution. You are not losing yourself. You are meeting yourself. The healed version of you will not crave the same things, tolerate the same pain, or chase the same validation. And that's okay. Let that version emerge, even if it costs you familiarity. Because healing was never about returning to who you were. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. So, let this be your quiet cleansing, a release that doesn't need attention, noise, or approval. Healing doesn't require the world to witness it. It only needs your commitment to feel it. Remove the clutter from your mind, the weight from your heart, and the noise from your spirit. You don't need closure from the world when you've found peace within yourself. Remember, letting go doesn't mean losing. It means creating space for what's meant for you. Peace is not a destination, it's a choice you make every day. And every time you release something heavy, your soul rises a little higher. You begin to glow differently, not because life suddenly got easier, but because you stopped letting what's heavy define your light. So, quietly, gracefully, without noise, let go. And in that gentle release, you'll find not who you were, but who you were always meant to become. There comes a moment in every person's life when they get tired of carrying what no longer feels right. The same thoughts, the same patterns, the same people. Everything that once gave comfort suddenly begins to feel heavy. That's not failure, that's awakening. It's your soul whispering that it's time to let go. Life isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be lighter, freer, more at peace with yourself. Real transformation doesn't happen when you add more to your life. It begins when you start subtracting what no longer belongs. The quiet power of release is the foundation of inner peace. The first thing you must eliminate is the habit of holding on to what's already gone. Some people leave long before they walk away. Some situations end long before you stop fighting for them. The pain of letting go is often softer than the pain of holding on. When you accept that not everything is meant to stay, you begin to move differently, not from desperation, but from peace. Closure doesn't always come in words. Sometimes it comes in acceptance. The past doesn't need your presence anymore. Your future does. The second thing to release is the illusion of control. You can't plan your way through life. You can't predict who will stay, who will go, or what storms will come. The tighter you grip, the more life resists you. True peace is born in surrender, not in giving up, but in letting go of the need to control every detail. The universe has perfect timing, but it often requires your patience, not your panic. When you stop forcing outcomes, things begin to fall naturally into place. Control is heavy, trust is light. Third, let go of the need for validation. You don't need everyone to understand your choices, your silence, or your healing. Some people will never see the beauty in your transformation because they benefited from your chaos. You are not required to prove your worth to anyone. The ones who truly see you won't need an explanation. Your peace will be their answer. Validation from others is temporary, but validation from within lasts forever. When you finally start trusting your own voice, you stop chasing echoes. The fourth thing to quietly remove is bitterness disguised as protection. You may have been hurt, betrayed, or misunderstood, But holding on to resentment keeps you attached to the pain. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the decision to no longer allow someone's actions to control your emotions. You can forgive without reconnecting, release without explaining, and heal without announcing it. The most powerful revenge is peace, not proving them wrong, but proving to yourself that you can let go and still rise. Fifth, eliminate self-doubt. You've questioned your worth long enough. You've second-guessed your path, your purpose, your timing. But what if everything is unfolding exactly as it should? You have survived what once tried to destroy you. You've grown through what once broke you. You are stronger than the thoughts that tell you otherwise. Every time you doubt your progress, remember that even slow growth is still growth. You are allowed to outgrow your old self without needing to apologize for who you're becoming. The sixth thing to let go of is toxic energy disguised as loyalty. You don't owe lifelong access to people who continuously drain you. Love them, wish them well, and move on. Not everyone can walk with you to your next chapter. And that's not cruelty, it's clarity. Loyalty doesn't mean staying where you're mistreated, it means honoring your peace enough to walk away. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it's sacred. Every time you say no to what drains you, you say yes to what heals you. Seventh, release the pressure to be constantly strong. You're human, not a machine. You don't have to carry everything in silence. You don't always have to be the one who has it all together. Strength isn't pretending that nothing affects you. It's allowing yourself to feel, to break, to rest, and still choose to rise again. There's power in vulnerability. There's courage in saying, I need time to heal. The more you allow yourself to soften, the more strength you actually find. And lastly, eliminate the fear of starting again. Every ending is just the beginning of a new alignment. The people you lose, the places you leave, the versions of yourself that fall away. They're not signs of failure, they're signs of renewal. The universe removes what's heavy so you can carry what's meant for you. Don't be afraid of the unknown. It's where all transformation begins. You are not starting from nothing. You're starting from wisdom. Every chapter you close makes room for a deeper one to begin. Peace doesn't come from having a perfect life. It comes from having the courage to cleanse your life. The moment you stop chasing what drains you, you make space for what heals you. You begin to glow differently, not because everything around you changed, but because you did. Letting go is not losing. It's returning to your center, your calm, your truth. The things meant for you will never require you to shrink, chase, or suffer. They will flow easily because they are aligned with your peace. So, move quietly. You don't need to announce your healing or explain your choices. Just release, softly, steadily, faithfully. Allow life to breathe through you instead of being controlled by you. The peace you seek has always been inside you. It was simply buried beneath everything you were afraid to release. And when you finally let go of control, resentment, fear, and doubt, you'll realize that peace was never lost. It was waiting for you all along, beneath the noise, beneath the struggle, beneath the versions of you that you were brave enough to shed.